Oliver Ames Sports are sponsored by Bank of Easton, Easton Lions Club, Law Firm of Sutton & Sutton. ECAT would like to thank all sponsors for their support in producing this sports season.
All right, and welcome to the chilly confines of Frothingham Park today as we have a Hockomock League game today between your Oliver Ames Tigers against the Foxborough Warriors. Hello, everyone. I'm Adam Rivero, providing you play-by-play here today. Here on ECAT, glad to have you along with us for today's Davenport Division game. Just to give you a little bit of information before we get started as the game is about to begin, and as the final warm-ups are taking place, Oliver Ames comes into today's game 2-9. Got their second win of the season last Friday against Sharon, but then dropped the Monday game against Taunton, but bring them up to 2-9, breaking an 8-game losing streak, and really just from everything we've seen so far is really just picking up and improving over the last few games. And we'll talk more about Foxborough here in just a moment as we're getting ready for game time. So thank you for joining us here again on ECAT as we have Alex Sade, who will be pitching for Oliver Ames, and the first pitch is on the way, and we're ready to start here for today's contest. Just outside for a ball. Alex came in for relief last week and provided some good pitches there and good relief for OA, and gets the start here today for the Tigers. The count is 1-1. First at bat for Foxborough is the second baseman Tyler Prescott. Foul tip to the backstop, and the count is 1-2. The lefty taking his cuts there, digging in. Alex with the pitch. And outside for a ball. The count is 2-2. Game time temperature here today at Frothingham is a little bit cool, 59 degrees after some warm days, overcast skies, a little bit of rain this morning, but the field looks like it's in good shape. And that's going to be just outside to give us a full count, 3-2. Sade with the pitch. And that is going to be ball 4. And Prescott is aboard with no outs. The center fielder, Ben Angelini, steps in, the righty, for Foxborough. Foxborough comes in today with a 5-6 record, having dropped their last game. Ben shows bunt and takes for a ball, or for a strike rather. Back in his stance now. A swing and a miss for strike 2. Good action on that pitch. And the throw. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Strikeout. First punch out today for Sade. And there's one away. Prescott They're on first base. A little movement there, perhaps thinking about stealing second. We'll watch him here. Next up is the first baseman, Brandon Watts. And the throw. Makes contact to third, and that's going to go through the gap for a base hit. Slow roller had just enough on it to be able to get it in the outfield and to get Foxborough's first hit for the day. Men on first and second with the cleanup man, shortstop Ryan O'Leary, at bat today. Good time to mention that today here on ECAT also have our producer, our engineer, our all-around good guy, and also color commentator for today, Joe Taft. Glad to have you with us, Joe. He's got a lot of things going on, but he's going to jump in here and there to help me out and to keep this from being a solo broadcast, and I appreciate it, Joe. All right, the shortstop stepping in right now. Today looks behind him in the pitch. And that's going to be contact. That's going to go to Rogers, who is going to have it fall in front of him. He's going to throw to home, and the relay is going to be there, and the throw, and he's going to be safe at home. Runners advance to second and third. That ends up being a double for O'Leary. Rogers just wasn't able to get there. It dropped right in front of him. A throw to home, relay, and then throw to home. About as good as you could get right there, but just a second too late. And that's going to be the first run for Foxborough. And so the score is going to be 1-0 Foxborough with one out. Next up to the plate, Henry Griffin. He's the catcher, number 11 for Foxborough. Contact is made, a diving catch, and it went out into center field, and another run is going to score. Third is going to stop. The throw to home, and the runner goes to second, but that goes over the second baseman's head, and it goes back out to center field, rolling all the way to the tree. That's going to score at least one, and he's going to come around third, and it looks like there's going to be a score for Griffin. That's actually going to clear the bases. Will be scored an error, so not technically an inside the park home run, but at the same time, solid contact was made, and that's a tough one to see there right there because Baroncelli, with the stab at it, got it down. That was a great attempt to make on it, but just not enough to be able to stop what happened there. Tough break there for Oliver Ames. And very quickly, the score is 4-0 Foxborough right now. And there's going to talk about it there on the mound just a little bit. And that throw that went right over Anthony Baroncelli's head, the second baseman, jumped fully extended, but not much he could do to stop it. And it just, that slow roll, it just, painful to watch, just going all the way to that tree with nothing to stop it. But after talking about it, OA gets back out into the field and hope that Sade can just shake that off there. Alex can. And coming up next is the pitcher, Nolan Gordon. Bases are cleared, so no one on base, but one out. Foul tip for the first strike. As I mentioned, Gordon will be on the hill today for Foxborough. It looks like we have a break in the action here for just a second. I think the umpire may have gotten hit by that ball there on that foul tip, and so take just a moment to make sure that he's okay. Coaches have come out for both sides to check on him. Certainly hope that he's okay. We'll take a break in the action right now for ECAT and be back in just a moment as we allow the umpire to make sure he's okay and see if we can get back to the action in just a moment. And we're back here on ECAT, and a round of applause for the umpire as he is going to switch positions. Actually, going back to home plate there, my mistake there, but seems to be okay, and certainly glad for that. We'll resume the game here in just a moment. As I mentioned, OA had been under an 8-game losing streak, which ended last week as they beat Sharon here at Frothingham. You might have seen that game here on ECAT, that night game. It ended right before darkness with a 7-2 win, and then dropped the game against Taunton 4-5 on Monday. But a tough Taunton team, and they certainly hung tough in the game. Well, we are back at it, and the pitch is in there for a strike. Alex trying to shake off just a bad run of luck there in the last at bat. In the outside corner, and that's also a strike. The count is 0-2. Actually, discrepancy there on the scoreboard, but that was actually strike 3, and so that is going to be a strikeout for Alex. Gordon's going to sit down, and the left fielder, Aiden Snow, is going to come into bat this time. And that first strike was the foul pitch, or the foul tip there, and then 2 strikes right after that. So a 3-pitch strikeout there for Alex. And again, Snow's at bat. And that is inside for a ball. A little bit of movement there, a little bit of drop in there. If he can place that pitch, that's going to be a good one here today. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs. Fouled off behind the first base side as the church bells are going off here right downtown beautiful Northeastern. 1 ball, 1 strike. And Snow takes, but it is a strike. 1-2. Alex has got some good placement on his pitches so far today, and the Foxborough batters, other than that one at bat, seem to be having some trouble. Strike 3, rung him up, and that is the end of the half inning. So Foxborough is up 4-0. OA will take its first turn at bat in just a moment. A lot of Oliver Ames Athletic Department action going on this afternoon, some of which you can catch on ECAT, whether it is on our other station or by watching on our social media accounts on Facebook or on YouTube. We have the varsity girls softball team that is playing right now at Foxborough, 3:45. Varsity girl tennis also started at 3:45 here at home. Varsity boys tennis here, or away rather, at Foxborough. 3:45 varsity girls softball at Foxborough today. JV boys baseball started at 3:45 on the field at OA Stadium. And then 3:45 boys baseball, varsity game, that's where we're at right now. 4 o'clock at Milford is girls lacrosse, boys lacrosse, and JV boys and girls lacrosse all at Milford today. And so a lot of action going on. And sure glad that you are here with us today, again, here at Frothingham Park. As mentioned before, it's a little bit cool today, 59 degrees, cloudy, a little bit of rain this morning, and always a little bit of a concern that it's going to affect the field, but the field is just kept in such immaculate shape, drainage, that there seems to be no issue whatsoever here today. Foxborough's starting pitcher, as I mentioned just a moment ago, is Nolan Gordon. Gordon was the struck out just a few moments ago, but is looking to get a few strikeouts here against OA. Jake Willard in just a moment will be our first batter. He's shortstop, a senior for OA, and looking to strike back. I had the opportunity to talk to both coaches before the game today and talk to them a little bit about the league and league play so far this year, and the general consensus that I got just from talking to them is that no matter what the records may say, the division right now is wide open. Right now, Foxborough has 2 wins in the division. OA, despite having some difficulties earlier in the season, still has 1 win in the division, and a win today would even them up and put them on the top half of the Davenport division. So although the record is only 2-8 for OA, they do seem like things have been on the upswing a little bit, hanging tough against Taunton. Very likely the strongest team in the Hockomock League this year, as they are sometimes traditionally so. And certainly, although a loss on Monday, followed by the win on Friday, some things to look forward to and some things looking up for OA, and we hope that that will continue here today, and we hope that we can start taking some of those runs off the board, or really just chipping away at those runs on the board, rather, here in this first inning as Jake takes the bat. Shortstop for OA, again, a senior, and looking to get on board and start to change a little bit of the momentum here in the game so far. Batting right, he steps in the box. Gordon ready to pitch. And he deals. And it's going to pop up, and that's going to go right to Tyler Prescott, the second baseman, or actually the shortstop. And he's going to make the catch. One pitch, one contact, and one out for Oliver Ames. Left fielder David Rogers stepping in, lefty. First pitch is a strike. Swung right through it. The count is 0-1. And that's low for a ball. 1-1, low and outside. Swing and a miss, strike two. Rogers bringing a little bit of velocity here. And contact is made, and it's going to drop. And no, it's caught by the shortstop, O'Leary, for the second out. Hard to tell, he caught that snow cone style right there near the dirt, but he did make the grab, made the squeeze, and that's going to count for out number two. Drew Hall, the catcher, is at bat now. OA junior. And he takes for a ball. That pitch right down the middle, but he takes. The count is 1-1. This will be low and in the corner, but it is in the zone for a strike. The count is 1-2. Low and in the corner, same position, and that is going to be strike number 3, and that will be the end of the inning. So after one, it is Warriors 4, Tigers nothing here on ECAT. We'll be back with you here in a moment.
Want to get involved in an exciting race around historic Northeaston? Apply to be on Expedition Easton, a local version of the amazing race produced by ECAT. This summer, 6 pairs, 12 contestants, will get the chance to compete for the grand prize. All ages are welcome, but each pair must have one member over 18 years old. Think you got what it takes to complete the expedition? Email info@eastoncat.org or call us at 508-230-7200. Casting has begun. Dates are set for June 22nd, 23rd, 29th, and 30th.
Oh, I didn't see you there.
Sick of all the new shows and movies dominating pop culture? Well, have no fear, because Old Time Movie and Old Time TV are here, where we like to add our own flair.
There's a truck out front, and if we could just get the keys...
Are you crazy?
Are you out of your mind? Those are flesh-eating zombies. They upended our car, okay? We're lucky to be alive, especially Joe. I had to pull him out of the trunk, for crying out loud.
It's been a long day.
Also, make sure to check out the Radiocast, our accompanying podcast where we talk about what we've watched.
There was a lot of moments of just Mac on the raft going down the river, just internal monologuing over and over and over.
We show the classics and nothing but the classics. Well, except for the weird ones. Check us out on all our channels as well as our YouTube.
And we're back at Worcester Field, Frothingham Park. Glad to have you with us. And once again, here on Color Commentary today is Joe Taft. Thanks for being with us today, Joe.
No problem, Adam. Thank you so much for having me, and I'm looking forward to calling some baseball. You know, this is my favorite sport.
Well, I'm glad to have you, and it's much better when it's two people talking than one. I can say that for sure. And DH Shane Henry is up to start the second inning for Foxborough. First pitch is in for a ball. Alex deals. Call the ball.
I see they let Alex go here for his second inning of pitching. You know, 4 runs, not necessarily all his fault, so hopefully he'll be able to get his bearings here. It seemed as though, as it's another one up, at the end of the last inning, after the umpire took that unfortunate shot at that foul ball, he seemed to settle down and fire some strikes in there. It's like he got the moment that he needed to get his bearings.
Yeah, the timing was unfortunate for certain as that goes in for a strike, but he was able to kind of shake off what had happened there, and then by the end of the inning, struck out 3 outs, 3 strikeouts, and so I want to hope that continues here. And battling here, coming back from a 3-0 count to a full count now.
It's a good fastball. He's bringing it, you know, he only missed it by a few inches there for the first couple of pitches up in the zone, so he's able to follow through and get that across as he fouls one off to the right.
The count is still full. Again, the DH here at bat for Foxborough. And the pitch. And a swing, and that's going to go in between the second baseman and shortstop. Second baseman calls it, and that will be an out as Baroncelli grabs it and one away, just like that.
That's key. You know, communication is the most important thing on those balls in between the infield and the outfield. If you're not talking to your right fielder, if you're not talking to your second baseman, then that ball's destined to fall, or there's destined to be a collision.
Yeah, it's good to see the right fielder back off there, realizing that Anthony had the better play there. And at the bottom of the order, third baseman Harrison Lamson is in, and the pitch.
Bunt.
He bunts, and that's going to be foul.
Just trying to catch the Tigers sleeping there. Will count as a strike.
Not necessarily a bad idea, but just not necessarily hitting it square there like you'd want to. And so he gets back in. The lefty. The pitch. He swings, and that's going to be foul for strike number 2. Down the first baseline.
Nice play and a nice throw by the first base coach. You know he's been waiting all day to show that one off.
Oh, he's been waiting. You could see him stretching before the game. This is his time right there, and he performed admirably for certain.
We love to see that.
Yeah. Strike 3 call.
Nice. Good breaking ball there to get the second out of the inning.
Great movement. Consider right now he's got 4 strikeouts already in 2 innings, and score 4-0 doesn't just seem to be reflective of what he's been able to do so far.
Absolutely not. An unfortunate throwing error by Drew Hall, the catcher, caused a couple runs to score there, and as the curveball drops in for strike 1, it's been situations like that this season for the Tigers that have caused them to fall behind in games, seemingly, from my perspective, is just plays that could be, I guess, just mental errors. You know what I mean? Plays that could be avoided, but just unfortunately have not been.
Yeah, I remember the New Bedford game a couple weeks ago, I think it was, as swings through for strike 2. and the wild pitches that would get past Drew, and the unfortunate, kind of the way that Frothingham Park is set up with that backstop way, way away, just causing runners to take one base, two bases, and just little errors like that making a big difference for certain.
Miles and miles of backstop. So that seemed like maybe a slider there that missed on the 1-2 count.
Got a lot of movement, though, for sure.
Certainly.
And miles of everything at Frothingham Park. Yeah. It's in every direction.
Outfield ground.
Strike 3. And that will end the half inning for Foxborough, and that is Alex's 5th strikeout in 2 innings.
Yeah, he's certainly got them off balance. He's setting them up with the off speed and finishing them off with the heaters. That's a good thing to see when, like I said, when you have those mental errors, at least your pitcher is still hanging in tough and trying to keep you guys in the ball game.
Yeah, great pitch selection so far, for sure.
Most definitely.
All right, well, got a few reminders here for you for the folks who live here in the town of Easton. There's a ribbon cutting and open house coming up on Sunday, May 5th at the Red Mill Road Water Treatment Plant in recognition of National Drinking Water Week. Did you know there was a National Drinking Water Week, Joe? I
did not. It's a very important element of life, drinking water.
It is.
So it's good that they're shining a light on that.
For something so important, it's amazing that we didn't know that was a thing.
Just in case you forgot.
Yeah. This is why you watch this broadcast, for certain, for just tidbits like that. But in recognition of National Drinking Water Week, which runs May 4th to May 10th, so mark your calendars, this year Easton's Public Works is excited to invite the community to join us for a ribbon cutting and open house celebration at the newly constructed Red Mill Road Water Treatment Plant. You can get tours of the new facility, and it's a family-friendly event and will include touch-a-truck and a DPW cookout to celebrate clean water, and let's be honest, who doesn't celebrate clean water? And the Public Works personnel who make it happen will be celebrated as well. That's Sunday, May 5th, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at 12 Red Mill Road here in Easton. And also, don't forget to save the date for annual town meeting coming up on May 20th. It'll be held at OA in the auditorium at 7 p.m. For more information, including the final warrant, you can check out the town website at easton.ma.us. And I can promise you, you do not want to miss town meeting. You don't want to ever miss a town meeting, but I'm sure this one will be no exception. A lot of interesting things on the warrant coming up there. And by the way, if you can't make it, you can still watch on ECAT as well.
We will have it.
You just can't vote if you watch on ECAT.
No, sir. Democracy will only partially take its turn if you watch us. But
you'll be informed. And for that, we will be grateful.
That's right. That's more than most.
That's right. Anthony Baroncelli, the second baseman, is stepping in for OA, the lone sophomore, here today. And first call is a strike. Already been a lot of action that he's seen already in the second base side. And that is outside for a ball.
It's a good take, just a couple inches off the plate there. It's tough being a sophomore on varsity when you got a bunch of upperclassmen, counting on you to make plays. It can be, it looks like the umpire took another one there.
Oh, goodness. I think you're right.
He's just standing there like, why me, right?
Yeah.
Like this is, of course it had to be today, right?
And kind of in a Groundhog's Day type event here, both coaches come out and check on him. And, again, we certainly hope that he's okay. And that's the second time already in 2 innings. That's tough.
Yeah, definitely an unfortunate event. You hate to see that. Umpires, umpires and officials in general don't necessarily get the recognition that they deserve. They do a lot of hard work, and a lot of the time they just get critiqued for the supposed poor job that they're doing at times, and I think that we need to give them a little more credit at times.
That is true, and especially at this level, they put up with a lot of grief for very little pay. I can promise you that, and none of us would probably want to do that. But
sir.
Strike 3 swinging there for Baroncelli, and that'll be 1 out with Harrison Fitzpatrick, center fielder, coming up to bat. Watching a little bit of a pitching clinic here today, Joe.
Yeah, these guys are dealing. Hopefully we can see OA start to get some good swings in off this kid and potentially get some runners on base and get him pitching out of the stretch.
Yep. Gordon puts it in there for a strike, and he's painting the corners here today.
Right on that edge.
Yeah.
Oof.
That's a ball.
Now that's
Goes
tough.
the other way.
Now you see, I was a catcher when I played, and I'm always paying attention to how the catcher is receiving pitches. You know, like he sets up on the outer half of the plate, but that one's a little bit up and more toward the middle of the plate. It's harder to make that presentable to the umpire. If you're set up on the outer half and he fires it right to the outer half and it's a couple inches off, you're right there. It's probably going to look closer to a strike.
That's a pop-up, and that's going to be going to Ben Angelini, who makes the call and the catch, and that is going to be out number 2. Some good insight right there. I could tell you from playing right field as often as I did, I don't have those keen insights, Joe, that you might. They had to wake me up every few innings to make sure that I knew the foul ball or fly ball was coming my direction.
Hey, all 9 positions on the field are integral to having a good ball club.
That is true for sure, and a foul tip right there. And the count's 0-1, 2 outs. Again, the score is 4-0. Foxborough Warriors are ahead at this point. And Matthew Lawson at the bat, third baseman for OA. It's going to be just a little bit outside for a ball.
Now, Lawson, I believe, is also a hockey player, and he had himself a pretty good season this past year.
Makes solid contact, and that's going to drop. No, it's going to get right to the second baseman. Sorry, the center fielder. I could not see there. The shortstop was in the way. I'll blame him. Sure. That's what it is. But the end result is that's the third out for OA, and that is the end of the inning. So we'll be getting into the third inning here in just a moment with Foxborough 4, Easton, Oliver Ames 0. We'll be back in a moment here on ECAT. Didn't play as long.
Want to get involved in an exciting race around historic Northeaston? Apply to be on Expedition Easton, a local version of the amazing race produced by ECAT. This summer, 6 pairs, 12 contestants, will get the chance to compete for the grand prize. All ages are welcome, but each pair must have one member over 18 years old. Think you got what it takes to complete the expedition? Email info@eastoncat.org or call us at 508-230-7200.
And we're back with Ben Angelini at the plate as we start the top of the third. 4-0 Foxborough. Angelini's first at bat was a strikeout, and that's strike 1 as he swings through the pitch. Again, Alex Day with some really strong pitching so far.
Yeah, he's certainly bringing it. It's a good. You know, I think Oliver Ames has had strong pitching throughout the year. Nice breaking ball, almost gets back to the corner.
Yeah.
They've had a lot of strong pitching, and I've been a part of a team that is strong on the mound, but it's all about the timely hitting. And sometimes when your guys are just going out there and absolutely chucking every inning, you start to feel the pressure of trying to match the energy and keep up with your pitching staff at the plate. And it can get really. Oh, that's going to drill him.
That's a hit on the shoulder right there, and he's going to take his base.
Well earned, a well-earned base.
That is marked HBP. Hit by pitch, and he's going to take first, and Watts will be at the plate in just a moment. But yeah, from the games I've watched so far, Joe, pitching has definitely been a strength, and we consider so far, even for Alex, 5 out of 6 outs already in the game have been strikeouts. So it's hard to argue with that.
Yeah, he's been bringing it. He's peppering the zone, and like I said, he's getting a lot of these counts started with the breaking ball and then turning it back around to the fastball. There he starts with the heater up, but it's a little bit too high.
A little high. Actually, that's...
He's bringing it with some good velocity, though, I'll say.
Marked on the scoreboard as a strike there. I didn't see the strike call, though.
I believe that was a ball.
I believe so as well.
He's going to check on
He's going to go back, and it's going to be overthrown.
Yeah.
And Angelini's going to take second.
Yeah, no fence down that first or third base line, which, allows for the ball to be, as soon as it gets past that white line that's in line with the dugout, it's out of play, it's dead, which is somewhat fortunate because otherwise you might have the opportunity of getting a couple of bases out of that throwing error.
And that's going to go right down the line. That's going to be a seeing eye, maybe double, as Angelini's going to come around and is going to score.
Yep.
Timely throw keeps it from turning into a double, but that is going to make the score 5-0 Foxborough.
Yeah, you got to take the lumps, but you also take the wins at the same time. If your left fielder had fired that thing into home plate, that kid's definitely taking the turn and going to second base. So you try to limit the damage as best you can. 4-0, 5-0. It's not ideal, but once it starts getting to 6, 7, 8, it really starts to feel like, man, this game is getting out of hand.
Yeah. That's a heady play, certainly, to make sure that the runner didn't advance to second, but that's going to be popped up, and it's going to be called by the shortstop, actually, who comes in. Willard grabs it for the out.
Just like that, just keep firing strikes. He got a ground ball on the last one. It just happened to be, in a great diving effort, too, by Lawson over at third base, but it wasn't really meant to be, I suppose.
I mean, that was about as close to the line as you could get and still say fair. I mean, that was just a seeing eye single for sure.
Most definitely.
O'Leary is up to bat, and
that's going to be through.
That's going to be through. He had a double in the first inning, and that's going to be in there for a single for his second hit of the day.
2 for 2.
2 for 2.
Yeah.
But those little things, like you were saying, Joe, do make a difference. If that overthrow doesn't happen on the pickoff attempt, then that run doesn't score because you're already at second there, which is pretty much an automatic with that single down the third baseline. So those small mistakes do tend to add up over time.
Yeah, you're right, and especially in high school baseball where you don't necessarily, these kids are playing hard and they're skilled, but you aren't going to have kids just absolutely firing baseballs directly to home plate from the outfield, perfect throws. Like you can get away with a little bit more aggressive base running, I think, in the lower levels of baseball, and you certainly see Foxborough doing that today.
Yeah, that's the truth. I know when I played high school baseball, my junior year, I never got caught stealing, but it really was less a testament to me and more of a testament to the league we were playing in. The catcher, we needed to use the pitcher as a cutoff man to get it to second usually. So, that was was a little rough.
Hey,
but
reminds me of me by the end of my career because my shoulder was so shot.
Yeah. But you got to admire just the love of the game that they have and being out here and playing with some passion. And so
absolutely,
we want to see OA turn it around here. And certainly a strikeout here would help with the count being 2-1. 1 out. Again, 5-0 Warriors.
Decent little breaking ball just off the plate. Again, wouldn't be so bad to get one of those tailor-made OA double plays that we've seen a few of this season.
We sure have.
They've played pretty well in the infield this year. That's going
to be a pop-up.
That's playable.
And Drew's going to call it, and it's actually... Oh! It's caught. It's missed. No, it fell to the ground, so that was off of Drew's glove, and then Alex was able to almost catch the rebound off of his glove, but then it fell to the ground, just missed it. Well, I'll tell you, that would have been a highlight reel catch if they were able to do it.
It would have, but unfortunately, we didn't have any cameras that were able to get to that.
You'll have to take our word for it there. Yeah,
we became radio commentators there for a moment.
That was almost a 2-1 fly out there, which doesn't happen very often.
For those keeping score back home.
If we can't have a 6-4-3 double play, then why not have a 2-1 fly out in the foul territory? And that's going to be foul, speaking of.
Another play for first base coach.
I was about to say it, and again, bare hands it.
That's right.
If
He's
you
just gotta
cannot
hang on
see
to
that
it.
at home, I'll tell you, it is impressive.
He is certainly making some plays down that first baseline.
2-2, 1 out. Again, runners on second and first. Looking for the double play, looking to end the inning right here if they can.
Just missed with the breaking ball. I believe it was 3-2, so that will be a walk.
Okay.
That was close. That was close. I mean, that's a 50-50 pitch
That's
right there.
That's a gutsy take, I'll say that. Because
most
that's
definitely.
that's a tough one to take, but he got the call that he was looking for.
With 2 strikes especially.
Yep. So, bases loaded, 1 out here. And strike. Nolan Gordon is at the plate, struck out his first time around in the first inning.
Hear those birds chirping from all directions. They're cheering for OA.
Yeah. Foul in the opposite direction.
Ripped down the line foul.
Third base coach did not make the same play.
No,
a little bit more velocity there.
He in fact may have avoided the baseball.
I was thinking the same thing, so that may have been possible. A lot more, a lot more going to that foul ball for sure.
Definitely a lot more velocity. 0-2. Good breaking ball.
Yep. And foul to stay alive. Count is 0-2.
Being able to perhaps fire in strike 3 or just get an out here without allowing the 6th run to score would be, crucial. I don't even have to tell you that, but
you can tell us anyway. And that's going to be contact, and that's going to score at least 1, maybe 2. The throw's coming, cut off to second.
Oh, now he's got
and
that
he got the
runner on second.
He's in the rundown, and he is going to. So, was a tag made? It looks like the tag was made.
Yeah, I guess they must have made the. They must have made the tag on the runner between second and third because the first. Oh, they might be calling both runners out. And the first base coach is not agreeing.
Not
and
sure.
The umpire is also not agreeing.
Pandemonium is ensuing here.
It has.
It's end of days taking place here. No, not quite. But there is some confusion on the field, and it looked like that the OA was saying that the first base runner should have been called out.
Yeah. In the meantime, a couple of runs did score to make it 7-0.
So the end result of that play was 2 runs scored and the runner getting caught between second and third, but the
he is out.
Runners, is at second. Sorry, I'm.
That's okay. Yeah, I'm still reeling from that play.
I'm verklempt. All right, we're trying to recover here.
Oh,
contact
smokes.
is going to be made right there, but that's going to be the third out, and whatever just happened, it doesn't matter because that's the third out of the inning. But 2 runs did score, and so in the middle of the third, it is 7-0 Foxborough. Community events coming up. Also, the MBTA Communities Multi-Family Zoning Districts open houses are coming up, and the Planning and Zoning Board and town staff are hosting drop-in informational open houses for community residents interested in learning more about the MBTA community zoning that will be considered at Easton's May 20th annual town meeting that we just talked about in the last half inning. So you can come to one of these events and learn more about the multi-zoning family districts. For instance, on Saturday, May 4th, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the Family Farm Festival, say that 3 times fast, at the NRT, 267 Main Street, on the corner of Main Street and 138. And then on May 6th, from 9:30 to 11:30, at the Council of Aging at Frothingham Hall. And then Wednesday, May 15th, from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. in the Colleen Corona Room on the first floor of Town Hall at 136 Elm Street. You can find maps of the proposed zoning districts and proposed zoning language on the town website, easton.ma.us.
Really is that time of year, isn't it?
It is. We had town election last month. We have town meeting this month. And it's just that time when we have some town engagement. You see the signs go up for folks running for select board and school board and those kind of things. And now we'll have town meeting and always an event. I was saying, Joe, just a little while ago that they either are 45 minutes or 45 hours, one of the two. Well,
no in between.
Yeah, there is no in between. So bring your sleeping bag, and you will be good to go. But again, it is a cherished American tradition. One of the things that I loved about moving to Easton from Florida was the fact that we still do things like that up here. And you see those things in movies and TV where people have town meetings and go to gymnasiums and high school auditoriums, and we still do that. And it's certainly good to get involved because we want to keep that just the way that it is. Well, OA in the third now has their last three in the order. They've been 3 up, 3 down in the first 2 innings. And Colin LeMay is coming up to bat now, the right fielder. Junior, righty. And wants to get something going here and makes contact, but that is going to be a pop-up foul on the first base side.
Yeah, staying aggressive, swinging at the first pitch. I mean, trailing 7. I guess I'm always one for aggressive discipline at the plate. Aggressive and discipline aren't necessarily. That's maybe an oxymoron, but
no, but it's an approach for sure.
An approach.
Yeah,
that's the word. Thank you.
Yeah.
The word I'm looking for is approach.
Yeah.
I was always one who I'm trying to get up there and swing the bat at a fastball, so I understand. But that's going to be a strikeout right there.
Swinging strikes, and that'll be out number 1 with LeMay. Thomas Whiteside is going to come up. Tommy, first base for OA. Batting 8th today. Looking to get something going here. And Gordon on the hill so far has been strong.
He certainly has, and that's a good eye there for ball 1. Gordon has been bringing it, and maybe that is the approach, is just to feel him out a little bit that first time through the order and give your guys a chance to see some pitches and let him wear himself out a little bit.
That's also going to be popped up out of play. He's got 3 strikeouts on the day so far and has been fairly dominant so far in these first 3 innings. And that's going to be high for a ball. 2 balls and 1 strike.
What's up? Sun's starting to peek through those clouds a little bit more than they were when we first got here, so that's fortunate.
That was pretty depressing when we got here, all things considered, for the spring. Just not the feeling you want for spring baseball, but a little bit of sun would be good right now. Certainly lift the spirits of the Tigers, and I'll tell you what will lift the spirit will be a base on ball. That's 1 on, and Tommy Whiteside, plate discipline there, will be glad to take first base to be the first base runner of the day for OA. With the DH, number 9, Andrew Livingston, coming up to bat. Looking to start cutting away at that lead.
Now, Livingstone, I believe, also played hockey, and he scored quite a few goals this season as well. Usually, now, I guess I don't want to say that my experience is the more common one, is ball thrown over to first, runner safe. I am under the impression that a lot of hockey players play lacrosse in the spring because they're games that translate closer to one another.
That's going to be popped up. The second baseman's going to call off the shortstop, and that is going to be out number 2.
But it's interesting, seeing these hockey players. Maybe they're baseball players at heart, and then they also play hockey. But, that's usually not the case. Hockey players are usually very, very dedicated to hockey. If you're going to play hockey, you're going to play hockey because you have to start early. The gear is really expensive. You got to go to practice at 5 a.m. at those smelly rinks.
Yeah, there's a big opt-in when it comes to hockey, it seems like, for sure. And I've seen it seems like there's a little bit more of a translation between football and baseball. Guys playing the spring and the fall.
Gives you some time to recover. Yeah. It's just I was always afraid of playing football because I didn't want to get hurt and ruin my potential chances at baseball season. I'm not sure if it was Tommy or...
It was Tommy, yeah.
Yeah, he suffered a
color
football
commentator, yeah.
Yeah, last time out against Sharon, he had a football injury, and that's cost him the whole rest of his year.
Out for the season, yeah.
Of course, that's worst case scenario, but you just hate to see it.
Yeah.
That's
a strong hit to the gap, and that's going to be at least 2 as that ball rolls almost to the berm, and that is going to be a strong hit. Great contact for Jake Willard.
Yeah.
And that's going to be runners on second and third with 2 outs.
Yeah, that's going to be the first hit of the day for the Tigers, and
It is.
was strong. You know, you get through that first time through the order, and fortunately, Willard just jumps on a fastball and puts it in the gap. Unfortunately, the run did not score, so it's going to take a hit here from Rogers to really make it worth the Tigers' while.
Strike there in the bottom corner of the plate there. But, yeah, it would have been great to be able to at least score one there because that ball just kept rolling and rolling in the unending field here at Frothingham. And that's going to be foul and just foul. It's inches foul on the first base line. If that was fair, by a couple inches, that scores 2.
Yeah, definitely, and it would most likely leave him in a situation to be driven in next at-bat. So let's see it.
Ooh, and strike. And that's going to leave 2 runners aboard, and that is going to end the inning. So a little bit of life there from OA, but nothing on the board yet. And so the score remains 7-0. Foxborough will be back just in a moment here on ECAT.
Everybody, and welcome to the official first episode of Eatin' with ECAT. My name is Joseph Taft.
I'm Jack Ryan.
And I'm Abby Kishlam.
We are, in fact, your co-hosts, and we are determined to bring you all the big eats that you can handle. So listen, if you're a foodie, you're not going to want to miss any of the action. Check out our website, www.eastoncat.org, or find us on social, at EastonCat, to find this episode on demand.
Oh, you're going down, Kishlam. You're going down. You're going down.
I got through the foam, and I'm getting a little more down to the... It's like...
The fact that there's jelly in this just unsettles me.
A Reuben sandwich is the best sandwich out. The sauerkraut mixed with the Thousand Island and the rye bread.
This is something I have never seen before.
We're good. We're all family here.
Where does the ice cream begin?
Big
and
bite.
The whipped cream. And
No more plate.
At ECAT, we're here to keep you connected and involved in the community. On ECAT, you can explore the town with Gail Devins.
Hello, I'm Gail Devins, and welcome to our show, Discover Easton.
Tell your story with Harrison Young on Topic Time.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harrison Young on
Learn something new with the Ames Free Library. Relax with the Ron Van Dam Show.
Ron Van Dam Show, that's who I am. I'm Ron Van Dam. Thank you so much.
Check in on the latest in live town meetings.
2022 Select Board meeting, and Happy New Year.
Stay up to date with Oliver Ames High School news and live sports.
Tiger Talk.
Share your thoughts on the Community Forum.
Welcome to Community Forum.
And listen to some exciting new music. So stay connected with Easton Community Access Television.
And we're back at Frothingham, and the score once again is Foxborough 7 and OA 0 as we go to the top of the 4th. And Aiden Snow, the left fielder, is going to take the plate. Struck out at bat first time up. Low and outside for a ball.
Tigers certainly looking to get 3 quick ones and get back in that dugout as fast as they can.
Looking for a repeat of the second inning where it was 3 up and 3 down. But 4 runs in the first on some unfortunate throwing errors, and then 3 runs in the third has put OA in quite the hole already as they start the 4th inning. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Smoked down
Contact,
the right field line, foul.
And that is foul down the first base line, over the head of the first base coach, so no chance for a play for him there.
Certainly a lot of lefty batters for both teams. I mean, they're definitely hitting to the pull side today, too.
Yeah,
Ooh, I think he definitely went.
Yeah.
He did.
I agree with you, and so does the umpire, which is the most important thing, and that is going to be another strikeout for Sade. And that's going to be 1 down with Shane Henry coming up, flied out his first time at bat. You're right, there's an unusual amount of lefties who are pulling it down the first base line for sure.
Yeah, you saw with Rogers with that ball down the first base line earlier in the last half inning.
So Alex hopefully settling in once again. Ooh. And that's going to be popped up, and Dave Rogers is going to make the catch, and just like that, there's 2 outs.
Speaking of Rogers, makes a nice play there.
Harrison Lamson, the 9th batter, third baseman for the Warriors, is coming up to bat and struck out his first time at bat. Rogers had a good game so far out there in left.
Good breaking ball. Just
missed. Bottom dropped out of that.
Definitely spinning that thing and putting it near and around the zone.
Yep. And really good control, other than that one hit by pitch that he had, I believe it was in the second inning.
Yeah.
Just really, really good control. Alex seems to be putting the ball pretty close to where he wants to have it.
Yeah, he certainly got him pretty clean with that fastball to the back earlier. You always got to give him one, you know, just to let him know.
Keep him honest.
That's
you know?
right. You got it.
3-0 is the count, 2 outs. Again, Lamson, the bottom of the order, is at the plate, third baseman. And the pitch. That's going to touch the corner. No, it's not. It's going to be ball 4 and a walk.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to tell if the umpire is pointing for a strike or pointing to first base.
First base, yeah, that caught me right there. It looked like he was, maybe that was just wishful thinking on my part that would have been a strike, but yeah.
Perhaps.
He was
We've all been
telling
there.
him to take his base.
Right. It can be hard to tell. They have to be nice and loud. Yep. Got him that time with the strike.
No doubt about that one. 0-1. Prescott at the plate. A walk and a strikeout so far in the game. He deals. Swing and a miss. Strike 2.
Good fastball. Hoping to make that 2-out walk as minimal as possible, you know, just trying to keep that guy over there.
Limit the damage here.
Exactly.
Looking to punch him out here. 0-2. 2 outs. Runner on first. And contact is going to be made. A slow roller to second, and the toss to the shortstop covering second is going to be fumbled, and the runner will take third. And we got runners on the corners now with 2 outs. That's a tough decision to make right there, whether you just flip it to the shortstop covering second or to throw it over to first.
Yeah, I mean, you know, had the play right in front of him, decided to go for the flip. May have actually been a flop, where a flip is underhand.
Yeah,
but
I think you're right.
Whatever it was off the mark. Sometimes you take the play to first, but I understand the thought process. You just have to execute.
Yep. Outside for a ball. Angelini at the plate. Speaking of hit by pitch, he was the one that took it right between the shoulders back in the third inning. But again, runners on the corners, 2 outs, a dangerous position here for OA. Just hoping to get out without any damage. That's going to be a slow roller to the pitcher. And Alex is going to toss it for the 3rd out and survive what could have been something pretty devastating right there. And
absolutely.
Thank goodness for that. And so after that half inning, it is still Foxborough 7 and Oliver Ames nothing. Again, some more community events coming up that we want to make you aware of here on ECAT today. Did you know there's an Easton Tricentennial Cookbook? Easton is going to be 300 years old coming up next year, 1725 to 2025. Yes, that would qualify as 300 years, I guess. I just did the math in my head. All right. The Tricentennial Committee, though, is creating a cookbook to celebrate Easton's 300th anniversary. Please submit your recipes to be included to Easton 300 Cookbook at Outlook.com. That's Easton 300 Cookbook at Outlook.com, or mail to Easton 300 Cookbook, P.O. Box 300, Easton, Mass. 02334. I think it's pretty impressive. What I got out of that, Joe, was that the Easton Tricentennial Committee got P.O. Box 300 at the post office. That is
dedication.
Next level stuff.
You got to give it to Dave Clifton and all those folks. They really do a great job there at the 300. I have to make this point. If you were to guess, Adam, how many recipes do you think they're going for?
Oh, it's got to be 25, right?
Nope.
300.
300. You got it. Which is unbelievable.
Yeah,
I think 300 recipes.
That's crazy.
That cookbook is going to be massive.
What would Joe Taft submit as his recipe to the Easton 300?
That is a fantastic question. You know,
it may be my best question so far this broadcast.
For right now, with what I'm capable of putting together, I think it would probably have to be You know, I do make a mean meatloaf.
Meatloaf? Okay.
Yeah, you know, I think that... So my family is actually huge barbecue enthusiasts.
All right.
I do an okay job with some of that stuff, but for some reason, meatloaf, it runs in the family, and I do a great job. I'm really trying to cook falafel soon.
Falafel?
Falafel,
That's not easy.
yes. Yeah,
That's delicious.
I know it. Oh, it's the best. Not just Tabuli's. Down the street in Northeastern, I will shout them out every time I can. Their falafel wrap is outstanding.
Not even a sponsor.
No. We've had them on.
That good.
Yes,
it's just
is
that good.
Truly special. It's a shout out of all shout outs. They do a great job, and I would recommend anybody go down there and have their stuff.
Interrupt this falafel conversation to bring you
Some
high school baseball.
Sure.
And the count is 1-1 to Drew Hall, who is back. And for those of you parents and grandparents who are hoping that we talk about your students who are out here, we are back from not just Tabuli to talk about baseball. And the count is 2-1.
Yeah.
I would say, for me, it would probably be a chicken quesadilla.
Nice.
You know, you can make almost anything in a quesadilla. I found that out over the years.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very versatile.
Even a breakfast quesadilla can get the job done.
They're delicious. A little sour cream, a little salsa,
egg, salsa, maybe, and then your choice of meat.
Jalapeno.
Maybe. Oh man.
Yeah.
Big jalapeno enthusiast.
Well, that's good. Yeah.
Over here.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, not to get off.
Here we go.
Well, why don't we just make sure that we make clear here that there's a walk. Drew Hall takes on 5 pitches a walk and 1 aboard with no outs. That's certainly promising for OA.
Most definitely. He's going to be pinch ran for here.
Okay. So we have a pinch runner for Drew Hall, the catcher. And cannot see the number right now, so I can't give you his name at the moment. But we'll try to get that for you in just a second as Baroncelli comes back. Struck out in the 2nd inning. Swing and a miss. Strike 1.
That is number 2 over at first base.
Number 2, which would be Ryan Smith, senior. Looking to wreak some havoc there on the bases and try to have something happen there. And it looks like Gordon was thinking the same thing with the pickoff there. The whole OA bench in chorus telling him to go back. That was excellent.
Very important. That's taught. That's taught from a very young age to let your base runners know that something's happening. Which in reality, you know, it's such a quick thing that if you're not paying attention and if your reaction time isn't fast enough, you're going to get picked off, regardless of if your guys on the bench are telling you to get back or not. But it just looks bad if, as strike 3 is swung on and missed there, that if you were to get picked off and nobody on your bench says anything.
Yeah, that's even worse. Yeah.
Yeah, your coach isn't going to be a big fan of that situation.
So still with the runner on first and 1 out, 7-0 Foxborough. The pitch.
Nice
and that's going to be a chopper. That's going to get between first and second base, and that is going to give runners on first and second as there's a possibility of turning corner and going to third base, but then thought better of it and went back to second. So Fitzpatrick with the single, and that's 2 on and 1 out for Oliver Ames with Matt Lawson back up, flied out his first time at bat in the 2nd inning. That
just gets the corner there.
Just enough of it to get the strike call. I think I would have taken that one too, though,
I would
in
agree.
Matt's defense.
Yeah, you know, that's why you get 3 of those. Oh.
And that is going to be inside for a ball.
Right up near the noggin.
Very inside. 1-1. We'd love to see OA just get something in play here and try to change the momentum a little bit, because it just, right off the jump, they were behind from the very first inning, and just you got to feel that they're pretty down right now. It'd be great to at least get something on the board.
A little momentum, you know, and it seems like Gordon is...
He's wanting to run.
He's not quite pounding the zone exactly as he was to start, but they did give him that strike call. When you're bringing it like he is, it's much easier to give him a couple inches off either side of the plate.
That kind of movement.
There it is.
Yeah, they're The umpire might think you clip the corner and give it to you. We got a full count for Lawson, 1 out.
And honestly, a huge part of that relationship is the catcher. You know, the catcher-umpire relationship is a very slept-on one in the game of baseball.
Framing the pitch is vital, and a great take by Lawson, and that is going to load the bases for OA with 1 out.
It will. It will. And you know what? I have to mention this, and I will always make mention of catcher-oriented things, is that sometimes the umpire thinks that you're taking him for a fool if you're trying to frame balls that are clearly off the plate, and you're trying to bring that thing back 5-6 inches. He's going to be like, "What do you think? I'm stupid?"
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's about knowing what is too much, but then what you can get away with.
There's some subtlety there. It has to be subtle.
Absolutely. At least, from my perspective, I always tried to have a good running relationship with the umpire. You always shake his hand before and after the game, and just, make sure you remember his name. I was better at that then. But even if he doesn't remember your name, he at least knows that you're trying and that you're trying to foster a relationship that can benefit your club.
Colin LeMay's at bat. He did strike out in the 3rd inning.
Oh.
And that's going to be a foul tip.
I think that one got the catcher, not
did
the
it?
umpire. Yes.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Got him on the shoulder.
Yeah. That umpire has withstood enough punishment today. Already taken 2 pitches.
He's withstood enough for a whole season's worth.
Yeah, one would think so.
Yeah.
And Gordon puts that one in the dirt. And to your point, Joe, he does seem to be losing a little bit of his control. If OA can jump on this right now, it would certainly be to their advantage.
That's right. The pitching coach did just go out there to talk to him, maybe see how he's doing. I'm sure that he told him, "Oh, coach, I'm doing great." But you just don't know until he gets back out there.
Swing and a miss for strike 2, 1-2. Definitely looking to put something in play there, but chasing.
It's a tough chase, yeah. At this point, you just got to let him come to you, but now with 2 strikes, you do have to protect. Yeah.
And that's going to be
very
outside. Close. Yes, that's a tough one. So, but it went OA's way, 2-2. Again, 1 out, bases loaded, 7-0. Foxborough ahead. OA looking to take advantage. And contact's going to be made, but that is going to be foul by just a few feet on the first base side. And perhaps the busiest man on this field today is OA's first base coach.
That's right. Yeah. That's been maybe the hot spot today.
It really has been.
Both sides of the ball. Just been getting peppered over there.
And that's going to go right to the second baseman, and it's going to be 1 and going to be in time to turn 2.
Yeah.
And that went from optimism to heartbreak in just a few moments as that's the 3rd out of the inning. And they were knocking at the door, but come away empty. So at the end of 4, it's Foxborough Warriors 7, OA Tigers nothing. We'll be back just in a moment here on ECAT.
What's happening in front of you? It's a beautiful day.
It is.
There's a storm.
Join me, Priscilla Almquist-Olsen, to explore the town of Easton and its interesting, engaging, ordinary, and extraordinary people, and meet a smorgasbord of guests, including artists, authors, musicians, business owners, community organizations, clergy, local leaders, etc., etc., etc. Community Forum at 3 p.m. on Thursdays and 1:30 p.m. on Saturdays. See you then.
Hey there, I'm Gail Devins, and join me as we discover all the businesses that made Easton great. This is a wonderful, wonderful place. I cannot wait. I want to do it. I want to go there. I am definitely coming back, and I know you will too, because I'm telling you something. It is absolutely amazing in here. What a wonderful way to discover Easton. It's right here in Easton. Showing at noon on Mondays, 2 p.m. on Tuesdays, and 11 a.m. on Fridays, only on ECAT.
And we're back here at Worcester Field. It's the 5th inning, and it's 7-0. Foxborough is in the lead, and Brendan Watts is back at bat. The first baseman, 2 singles on the day, 2 for 2, but the first pitch is in for a strike. And that sun is trying to come out. In fact, it's kind of an awkward angle right now, too, as it's peeking through the clouds. And that's going to be low for a ball. The count's 1-1.
I wonder if Gordon will come back out for Foxborough in the next inning for the 5th. You know, this is the 5th inning of work for Sade, and he's given up. He hasn't given up 7 earned, but he's given up a few earned. Meanwhile, Gordon, you know, was not at that level of he hasn't given up any runs.
Right. And that's going to be right to Lawson at first base, and that is going to be the first out. Whiteside, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And that'll be the first out. Lawson playing the hot corner at third base. So my apologies to the family, but it's first base.
It's the other hot corner.
I know, yeah.
You know?
It is. And, well, today it is the hot corner for sure. First base is where
Absolutely.
all the action is today. And again, as that sun's coming out right now.
Right now.
Feels good, but that is it's almost blinding.
A little blinding.
Yeah. Strike one with
pitch
one
there.
out. As Ryan O'Leary, the shortstop's at bat, has had a double and a single today.
Yeah, for a kid who's hit the ball pretty well today, that pitch by Sade was definitely had him off balance.
Yeah.
A little bit of an unorthodox swing. Doesn't step straight toward the pitcher. He steps a little bit down to the left toward the third baseline.
Interesting observation. Look at that here in a second. He fouled that one off almost to the basketball courts. And you are right. And that's going to be an out for out number 2 as Willard picks it up, throws to Whiteside, and it's out number 2.
Finally able to retire O'Leary. He's been hitting the ball well today.
He's been hitting it really well.
Yeah. The interesting thing, too, is he almost had like a pseudo leg kick with his front foot.
That's interesting. Yeah, I didn't notice that till you said it, but yeah, he definitely kicks it out towards the third base side.
You know, whatever your timing mechanism is, as long as you can get back into a good position to hit, that's really the most important thing. You know, some people are more lower half base, some people are more upper half base, as you can see with number 13 here, Mr. Snow, Aiden Snow. You can see he has a little bit of a shoulder thing going on. That's behind us.
That's going to pop up behind us, and that is going to thankfully fall short of the cars that are parked on Park Street.
Certainly thankful. You're testing the limits of your insurance pretty much every time that you park behind here.
I can't say it enough, although I've only done this 2 times, but do not park right in front of Frothingham Park when you come and watch a game. The count's 1-2 to Snow. The last game I was at, the April break game, that morning game that we were at, Joe, there was, I think, at least 2 cars that got hit full on.
And I believe, strike 3.
Strike 3. Pitch. Excellent pitch. That's going to retire the side.
Sade, he's grooving now. You know, he's found his groove.
He's gave up a few earned runs, I believe mostly unearned, although I don't have the statistics on that. But he's certainly, like I said before, has pitched much better than the scoreboard would tell you just by looking at it.
Most definitely. So
we're in the middle of the 5th, and the score is 7-0. Foxborough still ahead. OA looking to have an opportunity to catch up here, and we'll be back with that in just a moment. But in the meantime, we do have, in this half inning, some community information for you. And there's a community panel discussion coming up, understanding youth substance use and mental health in today's society. Easton's Wings of Hope is partnering with Easton Public Schools to host a community panel discussion on Wednesday, May 8th between 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. at Oliver Ames High School. If you've ever done anything with Wings of Hope before, I can tell you that they are certainly doing some excellent work here in our town. For parents, educators, and community members who are looking to learn more about youth substance abuse and mental health in today's society, we will have I've actually lost my read here. So that event, my apologies, that event is going to take place at Wednesday, May 8th, 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. at Oliver Ames High School. And again, if you can be a part of that, it would certainly be to your benefit. And then also the Easton PMC Kids Ride is coming up on May 25th from 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. at Blanche Ames Elementary, and you can bike in support of Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. For more information or to register, go to kids.pmc.org/Easton. And then finally, the Easton Historical Society is having an open house coming up on May 26th from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. So a lot of community information, and I would also let you know, if you don't already, to register for the Town Crier, which is our weekly email blast that goes out with all the information Easton, and certainly you can get more information by signing up for that at easton.ma.us. Well, we're back at it in the bottom of the fifth, and we have Tommy Whiteside, who is at the plate. First pitch is in there for a ball. Again, OA trying to get something going here as they're running out of daylight in more ways than one, trying to be able to get back into this, and that's going to be popped up foul. And the count's 1-1. Pitch comes in, it swings through for a strike, and that's going to be 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Have returned.
I appreciate it.
Yes.
I really do. So
catching up with a former teammate and college, I guess, classmate. He was a grade below me, but Mr. Justin Glennon, good kid.
All right.
Yeah. Always good to stay in touch with those that you went to school with, because you never know when you might have a potential connection.
That's going to be outside. Full count for Whiteside. He's already walked once today, and so looking to get on board any way possible here. And that's going to be contact. That's going to go to the shortstop, who's going to throw to first, and it's going to be not in time, and he drops it. And so Tommy Whiteside is going to be aboard with no outs.
Yeah, getting that leadoff runner on is so key, no matter what the score is. Whether you're down small, down big, up small, anything, tied. It's always a good thing to get that guy on early. The percentage chance of you putting up a run in an inning when you get a leadoff guy on base is significantly higher than if you do not get the leadoff guy on base.
Absolutely. And Oliver Ames, having left a few runners on base so far today, is really looking any way possible to get somebody across the dish. Designated hitter number 9, Livingstone is going to pop that up to the shortstop, who is going to make the easy catch, and that'll be the first out. Second flyout of the day for Livingstone. We're back to the top of the order now with Jake Willard, shortstop, and looking to make something happen here for the Tigers.
Yeah, he's put a couple of good swings on the ball today. You know, the leadoff at bat, he hit the ball. Oh, and that's going to be a pickoff. He's going to run straight through to second base, though, and he's going to be
safe.
Yeah.
So some poor fielding and throwing from Foxborough allows him to advance, and so we'll take it.
Absolutely.
And so runner on second now with 1 out, and now getting out of the threat of a double play, which is good.
Yep. And now a guy in scoring position. You'd be surprised as to how often that works, where if you're picked off and you just book it towards second base, you have a decent chance of getting there just because you have to force that first baseman to come out, get outside the line of hitting you in the back with the ball and make a good throw to second base, and they got to secure the tag.
Yeah. So many times in a situation like that, the base runner just freezes up, and just that minute, just that second hesitation allows the first baseman or second baseman to reorient themselves enough. You're in the pickle, you're in the rundown, and it's game over. And that's going to be breaking towards third at strike, but he's going to be safe at third.
Safe by a mile.
He slid into third. He almost didn't need to. He was so far ahead.
Yeah, he got in there easily, but it looks like he's going to.
He might. He's
walk
hobbling
it
a
off
little bit, yeah.
As Coach Joe heads over to see how he's doing.
A little bit of a short slide into third, and he may have just kind of hit his leg a little bit there, so we'll give him a moment.
I have a feeling that the dirt is maybe not as soft as you'd hope.
Yeah. But it looks like he's going to be okay, and some aggressive base running there takes him from first base to third base.
That's right.
And OA knocking on the door, looking at getting their first run of the day.
Yeah, they just don't want to get skunked. Maybe it's a little bit aggressive. Ooh,
that's going to be a right through, and that's going to score the first run right there. Right under the glove of the second baseman, and that was put at the right place at the right time. Right. OA really needed one of those right types of hits there. Foxborough's had a few. OA was due, and OA is on the board. The score is 7-1 now.
Yeah, definitely a nice little piece of hitting to send that thing back up the middle by Willard. He's continuously been putting good swings on the ball, and I know he drove in a run or two the last time out that we were here. So he's been doing his thing. They're checking on him again, though. Is he safe?
Rogers back at the dish for the third time today. He's lined out and flied out. Kind of hope that he's due here.
Yeah, like I was kind of saying with Whiteside, he was the one who stole those two bases. Oh, that's a fly ball.
And that is going to go right to center and is going to be caught.
Hit relatively deep. Not all the way out into the shadow of the tree there.
Yeah. It was a solid hit. Great contact, just kind of at the wrong place at the wrong time, right to the center fielder, Angelini, for the second out.
I'm sure it feels good to get that first run on the board, though, for the Tigers, because if you didn't have that aggressive base running, I'm not sure that you'd have that right now.
No, that's a manufactured run.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And sometimes that's how you have to do it. If it's not going to be through blunt force of the bat, it's just by working men around, and that was a clinic there for sure. But we need a clinic of 6 more of them to be able to get OA back.
Yeah. Eventually, it just takes good hitting.
It's going to be a pop-up, and that will be out of play for Drew Hall, the catcher, once again. Struck out in 1 walk today. Count is 1-1, 2 outs.
Gordon 1 out away from getting through 5 with just 1 earned run today. He's been very strong on the mound here for Foxborough.
And the break towards second, and that's going to be a chopper towards second. Second baseman will be, the play is safe back at second. He overran second and had to get back quickly.
Right.
But the good news is that that's a single for Drew Hall.
Everyone's
and that
safe.
Keeps the inning alive with 2 outs. Runner on first and second. Baroncelli up at the plate. Struck out twice today, but he's been very aggressive looking for that hit.
Huge lead off second base there by Willard.
You have to wonder if Coach Abar has told the guys, knowing how far down they are right now, to be more aggressive on the base paths.
I think you got to be. Hits are coming a little bit less of a clip than you'd like. So when the ball's put in play, you got to be ready to move.
It is good to see Gordon working out of the stretch, looking behind him, looking to the side, and trying to get him out of his rhythm because he has been in the zone most of the game. And I'm kind of like you, Joe. I'm a little bit surprised that he's still in with the lead that they have. Kind of thought maybe he'd get pulled in the 5th inning. Be curious to see how much longer Foxborough is going to let him ride here.
Yeah, as he throws another ball there, I think it has a lot to do with, and I could be mistaken, but sometimes you just want to save pitchers for other games. You got multiple games per week, and if your staff, that's going to be ball 4.
4-pitch walk.
Sometimes your staff just isn't necessarily set to you want guys to go as long as they can, right? And I think that that's exactly what Gordon has done today. He was 1 out. I think they're going to pull him here, 1 out away from getting through 5.
Saying that, Joe, and you're right, there is action in the bullpen right now for Foxborough. I think the question just may be if their pitcher's warm enough to go in, because this turned very quickly on Foxborough. So certainly good news for OA. Bases loaded, 2 outs. When you consider that you're certainly not necessarily within striking distance right now. You clear the bases, and you got a new ball game, though. And so you do feel like for the first time in a while this game there's some hope for OA. And it seems like they're feeling it a little bit right now.
I think they are starting to feel. I think they're starting to get, second, third time through the order against this guy. I think they're certainly starting to put better swings on the ball. What I think is funny about this is that this is the moment where the coach takes his time getting out there and letting his pitcher get some more warm-up throws in so that he can be ready to go. But as soon as he started walking out there, I saw the pitcher who was warming up fire the ball over his catcher's mitt and behind him, so the catcher then had to go chase the ball down. So he really didn't get as many warm-up throws in as they probably hoped that he would, which was kind of amusing.
Yeah. It's a good observation right there, and that's going to be ball 1. That is the observation of a catcher, for sure.
For sure. You know it, because I've
tell you
been
the
there
right
before.
fielder. The right fielder is not observing something like that.
Yeah.
I'm out there counting the leaves on the tree when I'm out there
chasing
in right field.
butterflies.
That's it, and that's going to be popped foul into the crowd. Actually, maybe going out to the street. You kind of brace yourself to hear if that's going to hit a car, and we sound like we're good.
I think it was a tree. I think it plunked off a tree.
The farther we go into spring, the more leaves there are, the more more screening you get from those foul balls into the street. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Now you got to think this is probably his last batter, right? Because if he gives up a run, they're probably bringing in that pitcher, and then if he gets out of it, they're probably going to bring in that pitcher next inning.
I think you're right either way. This may be it for him.
That's up. 3-1.
3-1, and a great take.
A little bit of an awkward call by the umpire, but he's been doing a great job today.
I say pretty consistent in his calls so far in the strike zone.
In there.
Full count, and I'll tell you, this is impact situation right now for Fitzpatrick. You've got a full count, bases loaded, 2 outs, and we'll see what happens here. And the pitch. And he's going to pop it up, and it's going to be straight up to the pitcher, Gordon, who is going to actually gets called off by the first baseman, who catches it as he falls. Probably more dramatic than it needed to be, but the result is still the same. That is going to be out number 3. And OA once again leaves 3 runners on base, and the score, though, is 7-1. At the end of the 5th, it is Foxborough 7, OA 1. We'll be back in a moment here on ECAT.
Hello and welcome to Easton News. I'm Joe Taft.
And I'm Jack Ryan, and together we bring you everything you need to know about Easton, including politics.
The town of Easton is undertaking a crucial public safety and public works facilities replacement project to enhance essential services for the community.
Community events.
Mark your calendars and get your costumes ready. The Easton Food Pantry will be hosting a Halloween parade.
And sports.
Boys soccer stayed hot, defeating Stoughton 2-1. That was the team's 5th straight division title and 4th in a row in the Davenport.
With APCSM guest segment Pet of the Week.
Hi, I'm Katie with the Animal Protection Center, and today we have a little Iris.
With help from special correspondent Wyatt Fain. Join us
for Easton News.
Playing 6 o'clock Friday, Saturday, and Sundays.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, residents of Easton, friends and neighbors. This is Bill Ames,
co-host with Priscilla Almquist Olson of the Film Connection on ECAT now for over 20 years.
We're very proud of that.
And we like to interview guests from Easton who have been involved in the film business.
Actors, producers. We're very fortunate today to have a producer of a film.
And we're back here at the top of the 6th with Foxborough back up at bat. That's going to be ball one. And there's a new pitcher now for OA. Jack Devonshire is on the mound for the Tigers.
Yeah, Sade's day is done. He did a pretty strong job, though, I will say so myself.
You have to wonder how he will feel about the day, knowing that there's 7 runs for Foxborough, when he's left the field. But at the same time, I think he should hold his head up high, because I think he had a strong outing in a lot of ways, and just some really unfortunate errors that maybe make him feel a little bit differently about it. 1-2 is the count.
Yeah, when you give your guys 5 strong innings, where you're competing and you're throwing strikes, I think you can get caught up in all the numbers really easily when it comes to earned runs and walks and hits and strikeouts and all the numbers that go into baseball, as we all know. It's like, at the end of the day, you just got to go out there and compete for as long as you can sometimes as a starting pitcher. Because like I said, with high school staffs, you usually don't have that many guys to go out there. You don't want to be wasting arms, and neither team has done that today.
You're right. In as a pinch hitter is Danny Jacobs for Foxborough, and he's got a full count. Devonshire with the throw, and that's going to be fouled off.
Right over near our cameraman, Tyler. He dodged it.
Heads up, Tyler. Yep. Again, full count. The pinch hitter, Jacobs, at bat. And that's going to be just outside. It looks like that may be ball 3.
Yeah, will not be ball 4.
Okay.
I have it as 2.
You have two count?
It could be in between.
All right, and that is going to be popped up, but that is
Another.
also going to be foul towards the batting cages.
Yep.
So, as a correction, it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jacobs battling, staying alive with 2 strikes. He pops up, foul again, and out of play.
That's up. Down beyond the basketball courts.
That's rolling.
Yeah.
And still going. And like you said, Joe, it's just miles and miles every direction.
Everywhere. It doesn't stop.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful place to play baseball. It's just not always the most... that was pretty close. But not always the most... I guess I can't find the right word for it. Just ideal.
Yeah.
Right?
I think that's the way to put it.
It's gorgeous, but sometimes it's just like, man, these dimensions really get you.
Yeah. Full count here, and the pitch. And contact is going to be made, a slow roller to the shortstop who's going to throw, and the throw is in time from Willard to Whiteside, and that's going to be 1 out.
Yeah, nice job by Willard to just stay down on the baseball there. It didn't pop up and get him in the body, fortunately. That's always something you have to account for. But it seems like this grass is trimmed well, and the ball's able to stay down, and he just stays right through the ball and fires to first for the out.
Yeah, that was always the problem I had playing high school baseball, was just some of those fields that you play on, you're not going to get a true bounce, and all of a sudden you get one in the throat.
That's right.
And speaking of a grounder to the second baseman, and that's going to be out number 2, just quick.
A little bit more hop on that one, but still pretty tailor-made. I'm from Rockland, Adam, and in Rockland there's something known as the Rockland hop, and it can be vicious. It can come up and get you, like in the throat, in the face, maybe right in the chest.
Yeah,
knock the wind out of you, and that goes from the Little League fields all the way to the high school stadium.
I played baseball in Tampa, Florida, Town and Country to be exact, and I know that they had one of those devices with the chains to be able to turn up the dirt.
Right.
I'm pretty sure they used it once a year. A hop was always an experience, because you just did not know where it was going to go. And so one of the reasons I was glad to play right field was I'd much rather take one out there, a high pop fly, than I would one to, any different number of places in the body.
That's right, yeah. The chances of a ball coming up and getting you in the lips is much lower, exponentially smaller when you're out in the outfield. But you can't, you kind of have to expect it. A game of baseball is always one where the ball will find you if you don't want it.
1-2 and inside, very inside. The pitch. And that's going to be right in the corner for strike number 3. Great placement right there, and a 1-2-3 inning for Devonshire, who comes in relief. Great job.
Yeah, nice breaking ball, you know. He was able to get the corner, and it's a beautiful thing. Called third strike, it's a beautiful thing, at least from my perspective.
OA is running out of time, though, here, and so we've got 6 outs here for OA to make something happen. We are in the middle of the 6th inning, and it is 7-1 Foxborough. This is a great time to remind you, Joe, and to remind our viewers that this copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of Oliver Ames High School, Easton Public Schools, and Easton Community Access Television. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and description of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
Don't do it.
We're serious, folks. We really are.
I've
always wanted to say that. So they say that on the Major League telecast, and so I literally wrote that down just to say that. So
that's got to be a bucket list moment.
It's a big one for me. It's a big one for me. And by the way, if we're indulging in that for the moment, hi, Dad. And so I hear you're watching. I got your text. I don't know what it means. Joe and I tried to read it. We don't understand. But well, if you text me now, I'll try to respond. And so for the other people who are watching, my apologies for indulging in a personal shout-out to my father who was watching, who was my first color commentator, I should say, as we called play-by-play at Tropicana Field watching the Devil Rays. No, not the Rays, the Devil Rays back in the late 90s with a cast of characters who probably should have been minor leaguers, mostly.
How'd you get that gig?
No, I just did it from the stands. So, yeah, we did it from the stands. So, we sat at the 300 level, and nobody was. I would have been like 12, Joe. So,
hey, you know what? Tampa, nothing surprises me.
Actually, that's true.
Especially back then, you know, during those days, they were not. I mean, still to this day, they don't pull huge crowds, but they're at least a little bit more successful in the world of Major League Baseball.
Are you 14? Do you like baseball? Do you want to hold a microphone? Come on up. Yeah, that's it. Well, we're back at it with OA here at the bottom of the 6th. Again, looking to make something happen here.
Now, I believe that Gordon is back on the mound.
You are correct.
So it looks like my my prediction was off.
Everything of every baseball instinct that I have, like you, would have said that there just didn't seem like there was any other choice, either than he closed out the inning or that the reliever that was in the bullpen was going to come in. But the bullpen is actually silent right now, and he's going to keep going.
Oof.
And that's a strike. That's a very low strike.
Yeah.
But the count is 2-1.
I was getting ready to say, 3 straight balls after the situation where we thought we might be coming out of the game, but I guess you don't get that. But
that
he misses with that
is going to be low.
Yeah.
3-1, and Lawson.
Yeah, he certainly is having a little bit of trouble finding the plate in comparison to how he was at the beginning of this game. But
no, he was locked in at the beginning, and he just is not now. But the question is, maybe as he takes his base, Matt does. The question is, perhaps they feel comfortable enough with their lead just to let him go for now and preserve the arm for another day.
I think that would definitely be the case. Looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter here.
That's a possibility as we take a look at our scorecard, and that is the case. And coming in now for Oliver Ames is Evan Zamilo.
Yes, Zamilo. He's coming in. Who's he hitting for?
He'll be hitting for, let's see, Colin LeMay.
LeMay. Okay.
Zamilo is a sophomore who is an infielder and a pitcher.
And he's hitting for the right fielder, so we may have some defensive switches next inning.
I think you'll be right about that, Joe. I'll have to see about that.
Unless maybe he's got, maybe he's got some right field in him.
He might. I'd certainly tip my hat off to him if he does, but yeah, he came out super aggressive there, and the count's 0-1.
It's a tough thing to do, sit on the bench for 6 innings.
The pickoff is out into the first base foul territory, and Lawson's going to be able to take second there.
Now that makes you feel a lot better as a batter. You know, when you go up to the plate and you got a guy on first, you're like, all right, let me move him around. But when you go up to the plate, or during that at bat, if a pitch gets away or a pickoff gets away, and now he's in second base.
Now he's in scoring position, and he's actually looking to bunt, but pulls away. Strike 2.
And I wonder if that was on the pitch or on the bunt, because it kind of looked like he pulled back, but it seems like sometimes you just don't get away with it necessarily.
No, I'm going to guess the umpire thought he didn't pull away in time, because that was really outside.
Yeah.
That's going to be popped up, and it's going to be in foul territory. The first baseman is charging towards OA's bench and is going to make the catch.
Yeah.
And that's going to be out number 1 with Lawson remaining on second.
You know, I just kind of... all respect to the people who work very hard to coach these games and stuff, so I don't mean to critique you as though you're a terrible person or something, but because you're not. But the choice to, and maybe he did it on his own, but the choice to bunt here, you know, with a guy on second, nobody out, and you're down by 6 runs.
That's going to be popped up, and the second baseman ranging over all the way towards first base. Goodness, but he makes the catch for out number 2. Yeah, I agree with you. You know, any kind of critique that we make, understanding the level of play here, volunteer, and the love of the game, and all of the cliches that we could probably add in there, but we mean them. It's certainly true. But yeah, small ball when you're down 7-1 is a tough call to make.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things that it's like we definitely respect each and every person who's out on this field making this game happen. From the officiators to the coaches and the guys that are getting there between the lines and lacing up the cleats. And also, I have to say, that was a great play by the second baseman there.
It was.
You know, falling away out into short right field. That was great.
He tracked that one down, and that's going to be right. Oh, Lawson skips over it, and it's going to be a throw to first in time for out number 3. So once again, a runner left in scoring position, and the score, Foxborough 7, OA 1. We'll be back in a moment here on ECAT. Right.
All right.
I think we're running it.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of For the Love of Words.
After a 3-year hiatus, join me, John Holgerson, and
Priscilla Almquist Olson,
as we interview poets and musicians.
Could you give the audience a little summary of your background as a child?
When I turned 7 or so, we were car bombed. That stuck out.
And have them share their love of words.
Sometimes I wonder, do you ever think of me?
A thin broth of moonlight caught in the trees spreads across the garden brush, so one side of every stick shimmers while the other sides melt into one another, a mass grave of cherry, pear, and pine.
For the Love of Words at 7 p.m. on Thursdays.
In 2023, Easton is a tight-knit community of 25,000 people. But with the hustle and bustle of modern life, it's easy to forget our past. A time when Easton's population was 6,000.
Everybody knew who everybody
everybody
was.
And there was respect.
There was respect for everyone.
When kids enjoyed great freedom and independence.
Everybody was poor at today's.
We're back at Frothingham Park. It's the 7th inning, and Foxborough is back up to bat. Devonshire with the first pitch in there for a strike.
Devonshire entering his second inning of work here out of the bullpen for the Tigers.
Angelini hits a chopper to third, and it's going to get thrown to first and out, just like that.
About as nonchalant as a play can be for a third baseman. You know, it still gets hit hard, but it's basically right at him. You got to make that long throw, though, and that's not always, it's easier said than done.
A double pump, a throw, right on target. Yeah, it's well executed. Kind of take it for granted how easy it is. It is not easy.
No. the amount of times that I'd be over there taking my sweet time, fling the ball over, and it's too late, and he's safe. It's just like you really have to have a good, strong arm and good reflexes to play third. That's through.
That's going to get right between the shortstop and the third baseman by Watts, and he's going to be aboard with 1 out. Third single for Watts today.
Nice day at the plate, Of course, my dad always said, Joe, they're not going to bench you if you keep hitting singles. All right. You can say, where's the power? Where's the extra bases? I'm trying to drive in some runs and do some damage, but if you just keep hitting singles, you'll be all right.
And O'Leary back at the plate. Shortstop. 2 hits on the day. And the count's 1-0. It's funny, my dad said, son, you may never get off the bench. That was what he had told me. So
no.
I don't know. I don't know if Dad's still watching. So he may be not now. It's not true. Just because this is public. It's on the internet. It's forever. Just want to say that was not true. That was a joke.
Well,
all right.
Forever.
The count is 1-1. 1 out. 1 on. Again, Warriors up 6. 7-1. OA looking to just get out of this inning and try to cobble something together in the bottom of the 7th.
A double play would definitely give this team some momentum.
Be advantageous for sure. Drew taking that one out of the dirt and checking on first just to keep the runner honest. The count's 2-1.
Looks like the Foxborough JV team is arriving right now. Seems like their game must be over. Runner goes.
And that's going to be a hit right down the first base line, and it's going to be called fair.
Oh.
And the runner is going to come around third. He is hustling, and he's going to come all the way up.
Can I just not see the base? I cannot see the base umpire. Yep. Yeah, that was interesting. I wasn't sure if it was fair or foul. Of course, we can't really tell from here.
From our vantage point, it's really impossible to be able to tell. It looked like a fair call by the umpire, and as the runner's chugging around third, looking to go home, it seemed that O'Leary overextended himself at first, barely got back in time to be able to be safe. But he is safe, so runner's on the corners with 1 out, and Henry Griffin is at base, and that is going to get hit into the right field line, and that's going to be a foul ball.
Yeah, that one's foul down the line.
Yeah, it is not easy to be able to tell from where we are sitting right behind the backstop and a good 30 or so feet behind home plate to be able to tell. In some ways, if you're watching at home with these expertly crafted camera angles here, you have a better vantage point than we do at some of these things.
Most definitely.
That's low. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Looks like the Foxborough JV team is huddled around our camera.
They are.
They may be interested in a little bit of camera operation.
We could use them, actually.
We could use it. Yeah. We could use the numbers.
Sign one of them up. All right. And that's going to go to the third baseman, Lawson, who's going to pick it up and is going to get the runner out. But that is going to score a run at the same time. And so there are 2 outs. But the score is now going to be 8-1.
Nice play by Lawson, 2 outs.
Yep. Yeah, Lawson had to recognize there that he was not going to get the runner that's coming home and get the sure out, which is at first base. It's a heads-up play there. As much as you don't want to see the run score, he could have thrown to home. The run still would have scored.
Yes.
He made the right decision.
For sure. He definitely made the right choice, and he made a good play. And also, I have to say, great pick over there by the first baseman, as the pick-off attempt is thrown to second base. Yeah, who's at first base for the Tigers today? Whiteside.
Whiteside.
Yeah, great pick by Whiteside. Great form. You can see he went right through the baseball, stayed low. Hey, now, heads up.
Foul liner, the first base side, and out of play. The last game that I called the matinee special during April break, he had one play where he wasn't able to pick up the ball that was in the dirt, but the runner broke from second to third, and he fired a dart to third base and got the runner.
Right.
And just some really heads-up play from him there. And that's going to go to the second baseman who's going to get there. Ooh. The pitcher is going to cover, but it's going to be wild, and it's going to go towards OA's dugout where another run is going to score. And that's going to be 9-1.
That was almost absolutely beautiful. You know, you have second baseman's able to hustle over, and then the pitcher covers, but the throw just isn't quite there.
The margin between a web gem and a tragedy is so short,
so slim
small.
Here at Frothingham Park.
It really was, because that was a highlight reel play in the making.
It was,
but just didn't get executed.
You know, when you see the pitcher cover, you just get so excited. You know, that's good baseball, but like you said, went from triumph to tragedy in just a few seconds.
Good, you alliterated it there too. That was nice. So,
you know, it kind of just came out that way.
Yeah, I like that. 2 outs, 1 strike. Foxborough has a runner on second. 9-1 is the score now, and that's going to get hit hard and deep into left field. No! And off the glove of Rogers, and that's going to score another run. He was under it, but perhaps that sun just kind of peeking out from the clouds, I don't know, but he just let it bounce right off of his glove and out. Tough break there. But that's going to be 10-1 Foxborough.
Yeah, that's a tough break, you know, especially for our pitcher here. It's just, it's an unfortunate circumstance when you got a couple of plays that just don't go your way, and the game is already out of hand, but now it just looks a little bit worse than it probably even is, because I think Foxborough has had to work pretty hard for this game today, for this win that they're most likely going to be getting.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there. And the pinch hitter, Danny Jacobs, is back up. Grounded out his last time at bat in the 6th inning. That's going to be popped up and out of play.
You know, left field's a tough position, I will say. The corner outfields, I think, are very underrated, hard positions to play because you have to be able to read the ball really well off the bat, and they tend to stick like. Now, I think that OA has fast outfielders across the board, but ooh.
It's going to be a chopper right down the middle. The shortstop's going to grab it, and the throw to first is going to be in time for an out, and that's going to end the damage there. And so the score is 10-1 Foxborough, and OA 3 outs away, 3 chances to be able to try to make something happen here, and certainly that's what we're rooting for. And as we look at OA's schedule coming up here over the next few days, OA's next game is going to be at Mansfield on Friday at 4:15. So if you have a chance to go out to the Mansfield Sports Complex and see the OA Tigers in action, that'll be at 4:15 on Friday there in Mansfield. And our next Oliver Ames baseball broadcast is going to be next Monday, May 6th, against Stoughton with a 3:45 start. And the last game that those two played away, I think it was Saturday during April break, was a very close matchup. And so I can tell you that that will be a good game to tune into. So our next broadcast, myself and hopefully Joe back again, which would be good, will be next Monday at 3:45. So I don't know what you got planned next Monday, Joe. I have to check the Easton Community Access Television calendar.
That's right, I'm checking
and
it right
see,
now.
which happens to be at eastoncat.org, where you can find out more about Easton Community Access Television and watch all of our shows, including snippets from Sweden, Harrison Young, Eaton with ECAT, and even Liberty at Home.
Oh yeah, that one. No,
yeah, won't go. Yeah, won't make any more mention about that. But
no.
Yeah, we won't.
Great program.
Gratuitous self promotion there, so we won't go any further than that. But a lot of great shows on ECAT. And I got to tell you, if you do not subscribe to Easton Community Access Television on YouTube, you're missing out, because really that's where it's at. A lot of us, unfortunately, may have cut the cord, which isn't a great thing for ECAT, but you can always keep up with what's going on at ECAT by subscribing. And as my 7-year-old daughter would say, ring that notification bell and subscribe, and you can always keep up with what's going on at ECAT. A lot of great shows, a lot of stuff going on in the community. You got board meetings, you've got community events, you've got sports, you've got a singing competition. You've got Easton's Got Talent coming up again.
That's right.
I saw that, Joe, is coming up and expanding this year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, to outside. Not just does Easton have talent, but the Easton area has got talent this time. Anybody in the local vicinity. And, of course, I have to take the time to mention Expedition Easton coming up this summer.
Absolutely.
You know, it's going to be a great time, and we're working on some really, really exciting things when it comes to that show. The ideas are ever expanding, and we hope to find some more people who are interested in running the race. There's going to be cash prizes. There's going to be some merchandise up for grabs.
Okay.
And certainly there's more on the way. There's more to be told. I can't give quite every detail just yet, but we're very close to being into the next phase of explaining just how Expedition Easton will work.
Nice. Well, if you are interested in participating in that, you've got to go on Easton's website, or ECAT's website, rather, and get more information and maybe see if you can be a part of that. Well, Jake Willard is back up at bat for his 4th at bat of the day. And again, OA looking to at least hang something else on the board here. A crooked number would be nice here in the 7th inning, as it's 10-1 right now. That's going to be a pop-up foul, and it's going to be called by several different players, and the right fielder is going to make a diving catch.
All right.
You had the second baseman, the first baseman, and the right fielder all charging for it at the same time. I believe 2 of them called it, but the most dramatic of all of them was the right fielder diving, falling, and catching it. The right fielders are dramatic, sometimes, especially in high school, not for the best reasons. But it would be, in my case, moving forward, moving backward, moving forward, and then catching it. That's going to be a foul for the first pitch there for Rogers, and it's probably a good time to note right now, Joe, that we do have a pitching change finally for Foxborough, and they do have a reliever in, and I don't have the name at this moment. I don't know the number.
Right.
We get that for you. Actually, we do now, as he turned around. Thank you for helping us. We Pradu Gubala, and my apologies to your family if I did not get that right, but he is pitching in relief right now for Foxborough, as that's going to be a pop-up. Second baseman calls for it. Actually, shortstop calls, makes the catch. O'Leary, and that is the second out, and OA is down to its final out.
Yeah, you know, Gubala coming in here to relieve. He's got a low 3/4 release slot, and I think that's certainly a lot different than Gordon was for the majority of this game. So it's hard to adjust to a kid who's coming in and slinging it from that low of an arm angle. Plus, I think he's thrown a slider or 2 here as well, so he's definitely just leaning into that.
Yep. 1-1. And I will say, if you're OA coming away from this game today, is certainly a little disappointed in the turnout. But at the same time, I think you look at Alex Saday's pitching on the whole, 5 strikeouts in the first 2 innings. Just some missed opportunities. I think there's some stuff that you can build on here if you're Oliver Ames. That's going to be the second strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. As Oliver Ames right now is down to its final strike.
There's always something to be learned, you know, even if you go down and get beat.
And that's going to be popped up to the second baseman, who casually makes the catch. That will be the inning. That will be the game. And our final score here from Worcester Field at Frothingham Park is going to be Foxborough Warriors 10 and Oliver Ames Tigers 1. Tough game for Oliver Ames today, but again, they'll be back at it in Mansfield on Friday, and I hope that you'll catch our next broadcast of Oliver Ames baseball here on ECAT on Monday. Joe, it was a pleasure. Thanks for helping me out today.
It was so much fun. Genuinely, I really enjoyed this. It's a little bit less stressful than basketball, in my personal opinion, and I really am looking forward to the next time.
It'll be good, and I need someone to talk with and bounce things off of, and you did a great job and made me look good. So I appreciate it, Joe. And so for us here at ECAT, we want to say farewell to you. Again, final score here from Frothingham, Foxborough 10, Oliver Ames 1. We'll see you next time here on Easton Community Access Television.
Oliver Ames Sports are sponsored by Bank of Easton, Easton Lions Club, Law Firm of Sutton & Sutton. ECAT would like to thank all sponsors for their support in producing this sports season.